Alright, you guys, today we're going over 12 simple things you can do to be more secure online. So basically what we're going to be doing is going over everything you can do that's going to be your online presence and what you can do to strengthen your defenses and better protect yourself from a cyber attack or threat, or from just a general attacker. So the number one thing I think everyone should have is you need to install some kind of antivirus or malware protection, whether that be Malwarebytes, Tread Micro. There's a dozen of them out there. I'm not going to list them all. And if you're a larger enterprise company, of course, you're going to be using something more expensive, like Tanium, CrowdStrike, Carbon Black is just a few of them. And also, when you have some kind of antivirus or malware protection on your machine, it's great that you have something installed and running, but make sure it's working. Make sure it's updating properly. Make sure scanning is running, once a week or every other day, however you want to set that up. So make sure there's some kind of scheduling in place that does that for you automatically, so you don't even have to have that peace of mind. It's just it's running in the background. The biggest second thing that I've seen a lot of people not do, especially in cloud services, is two-factor authentication. I don't know how many times I have told my clients, personal friends, two-factor authentication is a must. Um, I know two-factor authentication can be a pain, but it absolutely makes your account so much more secure than not having it. Two-factor authentication also verifies your identity using at least two different methods. So what I'm saying here is you need a smartphone and you need a password that you know. And when an attacker is trying to log into your account, your bank, or whatever, they're going to have that password probably, but they're not going to have that phone that's sitting in your hand. So that's why two factors it just makes your account so much stronger. It's like having two passwords basically to get into your account. And one is a hardware device, so obviously you can't have that unless they steal that from you or they came across it. Now there is something that can make your life a little bit easier. It's called the YubiKey. It's almost like it looks like a thumb drive, and you can plug it into your computer. I'll have a link in the description that will explain that a little bit more. But it's basically like a thumb drive in your computer. So as long as it's in the computer, it verifies it right away. So you don't have to wait for a text message or there's also apps. So like you're gonna have a Duo app. There's an Authy app, which is very good. Google Authenticator is very popular. That can generate the code too. So you have that option as well. The third thing, which a lot of people don't think about, is using a different email account. And the reason why I say this is because let's say you have higher priority accounts, like your bank account, your credit card login information and pay your credit card, maybe an auto loan, or maybe your Credit Karma account for your credit score. You would have one email for those higher end, I call them higher level accounts. And then you have those lower level accounts, like maybe your Facebook, maybe your eBay account, maybe your Amazon account. Those are kind of like the lower level things that I think you can use a generic email for. Why would you want to do this? Because if you get an email sent to your lower level email account from your bank saying, hey, you have fraud on your account, click this link to verify or decline it, it's 100% phishing because you have a separate email or a different email tied to your bank and not this email. So you know right away that's fraud. So that's why you want to have two separate email accounts, one that's kind of for your higher level accounts, one for your lower level accounts. And another good email provider, if you don't like Gmail, is Proton Mail. And Proton Mail is based in Switzerland, I believe. And it's all encrypted. They can't even check your email. So it's not like Google will, if they get subpoena, they can, the government can potentially get into your email. With this, it's, overseas. They have no control. It's encrypted. So this is another solution for that. The fourth thing is to look at your devices. Look at your phones, your tablets, computers. Look at the software that's installed on them. Are you using TeamViewer anymore, or are you stopped using that? Are you using Logman? I mean, any apps that you have on your computer. I'm not just talking about remote applications, but it could be anything. It could be a program you bought, 5 years ago, and you still have it on your machine, and it never gets software updates, and it's got 1,000 vulnerabilities in it, then uninstall it, remove it. Um, if they're not being patched anymore, remove it, just uninstall it. You go to something else. Or if you're just not using it anymore, I mean, what's the point of having it on there then? Just uninstall it. The less things you have, the better you'll be. So just do a general cleanup is what all I'm saying. The fifth thing is use passcodes even when they are optional on smartphones. So I've seen this a lot, surprisingly enough. iPhones, they have no passcodes on them. So if they lose their phone, leave it somewhere, someone can just open it up and look at I mean, your whole life. Do you realize how much people just don't realize how much personal information is really on their phone? They have their banking access, emails, um, text messaging, photos, contact information. I mean, there's just so much information about our personal lives on that phone that you want to make sure it's as secure as possible, right? So I know a lot of iPhone users has that default 4-digit code, but I definitely recommend using something stronger like one Touch ID with a strong password, or just use an actual password that's at least 10 characters or more. The sixth thing is use unique passwords for every login, and you can simply get this done by using a password vault like LastPass. When you reuse passwords, it's an attacker's dream come true. Why do I say this? Because they will try that same email and password that they stole from a breach and use it on every website they know of: Facebook, Bank of America. I mean, I could just keep going. All kinds of online portals until they hit it and get logged in. Hence why you should not use the same password for every account as well. And especially accounts like bank logins, credit card logins, loans, etc. I know having long passwords is very hard to remember and hard to come up with sometimes. And I'm going back to that's why I love LastPass. LastPass is very easy to use. They have a plugin for the Chrome browser or any other browser. They have a phone app, so then when you add a password on your computer, it syncs to your phone. So if you're on your phone, you need to log in, and the password is there and it's encrypted. And all you have to remember is the master password. And of course, enable two-factor on it as well, and you're all set. When you're out and about, you don't realize how many times you will probably connect to a public Wi-Fi. And if you do, you have no idea of the security of that connection or who else might be on that same Wi-Fi that could do a man-in-the-middle attack, which they can see all the traffic from your device going out to the internet. Now, the probability of this happening is very unlikely, but it can happen, and I've seen it happen. But the chances of it are very low. But like I said, be on the safe side. Use a VPN or just don't connect to the Wi-Fi. When using a VPN, your data is encrypted, so that's why that attacker or even the person that owns that internet connection can't see any traffic or sees what you're doing on that internet service, and they would have no idea because it's all encrypted and it goes through the VPN company's server, so it's actually that traffic is going through that server. So if anyone wanted to know anything, they would have to get to that VPN provider. Another good thing about using a VPN service is it hides your actual IP address, so websites and other things can't track you as easily, but they are getting better with that. A good VPN provider that I can recommend is Proton VPN, which is that same company with the email. They have a great VPN solution. It's very cost effective, and I would definitely recommend that. The eighth thing, don't fall for email phishing attacks. Please slow down when you open up emails. If you are not expecting the email, especially, just slow down. Read through the email. See who it's coming from. Is it really coming from Bank of America or Chase Bank or whoever it might be? Just slow down and look through the entire email. There's so many clues. I have another video that I want you to watch. Is towards the top here, um, in the title, and I'll also have in the description that I would like. If you want to learn more about it, I have an entire video just dedicated for that you should really check out. I have also seen this done through social engineering over the phone. It's not just email. I've seen it done over the phone. My grandmother just called me the other day saying someone made a purchase on Amazon and we need your credit card because someone ordered a phone or whatever it might be on Amazon. And she called me asking if I knew anything about that. And I said, no, that is a scam. And she's like, great, because I hung up as soon as he said I need a credit card. If anyone asks you for a credit card, they're always going to send you some kind of email first. They're not going to call you like that. I can't say enough. Check every email, no matter if you are expecting it or not. Just check every email, every link that's embedded in that email before you do anything with it. Number 9. This is going to be a hard one for most people, but turning off that saved password feature in your browser and clear your browser cache on exit will really help a lot. I've seen this too often where people save all their passwords in their browser and an attacker sends a phishing email with, hey, your browser's outdated, click here. And they click here and installs a third-party plugin in Chrome and it grabs all the cache or all the passwords saved in that browser and FTPs it and sends it right to the attacker. And he has all your passwords for all your website logins. Let me repeat myself. This is possible. I have seen it done. So please use a password manager like LastPass. And one other thing is I like to say leave password managers to the pros like LastPass and not browsers, because browsers want to make sure you have a good experience, make sure it's ease of use. They're not really too focused on a password management solution. So that's why you want to leave it to the pros, leave it to the experts that have do this night and day, and that's LastPass. Number 10, review your social media privacy settings to ensure you have the most things disabled from sharing and viewing. Below are some of the things you would want to either disable or limit. These are just some of the ones you should be looking for. Examples: limit who sees your profile, photos, and posts. Clean up your friends list. If you have people in there and you have no idea who they are, remove them. Keep your location data turned off or set it to private. Turn off facial recognition. Limit data collection by Facebook and Facebook partners. Protect your account from hackers and enable two-factor authentication, like I said from the beginning. Hide your account from Google and other search engines. That's, I think, only on Facebook, but that's definitely something you want to remove because let's say you're applying for a job and they are trying to do their due diligence and look up your Facebook, and if you have stuff private, then they can see your potential posts and photos. So you definitely want to make sure you have that turned off. Number 11, find old accounts and remove them. So why would anyone care about my old MySpace account or an old electric bill account? Well, let's say that company had a data breach and now the attacker has that account login info plus whatever else they could have gotten from your profile, like emails, phone numbers, addresses, etc. And the password they just got happens to be the same password to maybe your bank or your email login. This is bad. So what I'm saying is, if you don't use the account, then I would just delete it. What's the point of keeping it online? And if you can't find how to delete it or close it, then contact the company or just set a crazy long password to it, maybe enable two-factor authentication if you never need to log into it again. Also, I'm not just saying this about old social media accounts. I'm talking about anything from your old MySpace account to any online forum website, or maybe an old electric bill or phone company bill where you used to pay for your electric bill but don't anymore. So, like I said, it could be anything, really anything. Number 12. This has to be one of the most important ones. Don't use credit cards. Instead, pay with your smartphone. Now, I'm going to show you why. The way we pay right now is very outdated. They are getting better by adding the chip security to credit cards, but that's still not enough since when that was first launched, it got hacked within weeks. So instead of using your credit card, you can use Apple Pay, or if you have an Android phone, you can use, of course, use their pay system. Setting it up is actually pretty easy as well. It's just taking a picture from the front and back of their credit card and you're pretty much set. So why is this so much better, you ask? When you use your smartphone to pay, it will generate a one-time use authentication code. and it's only good for one transaction. So even if someone was able to hack this and get that one authentication code, they couldn't even use it because it's already been used. And once it's used, it's gone. So in theory, it's worthless, even if they were able to hack it. Also, when paying by phone, you don't have to worry about credit card skimmers that are still being found today, mainly at gas stations and ATMs, and that's been a huge thing at gas pumps. All right, you guys. Well, that's pretty much it. I hope you learned something from this. Like I said, this is just my opinion with things. I know some people might have different opinions about things, but this is what I've just done myself to kind of keep my accounts and everything secure, and I'm just giving my advice out there. If you have anything that you can maybe add or I can do another video on, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.